This is Charles Haley. You're listening to Nothing But Niners.
This is Kyle Juszczyk, and you're listening to Nothing But Niners.
So now they've got to start from deep in their end of the field, and Garrison Hurst takes advantage of it. He takes the handoff, hits to his right, gets to the 20. He's in the 30, needs to cut in. He comes back up the right sideline, breaks the third tackle, comes down to the 30. He's down to the 20. He's down to the 10. He's down to the 5. He's into the end zone. Touchdown! Touchdown! 49ers! 96-yard run from scrimmage. Garrison Hurst breaking tackle after tackle, sweeps down the sideline. Throws off bodies like clothes after a marathon.
Young, back to throw. In trouble, he's going to be sacked. No, gets away. He runs, gets away again, goes to the 40, gets away again, to the 35, cuts back at the 30, to the 20, the 50, the 10. He died. Touchdown, 49ers.
Third down, Alex takes the snap. Alex looking down in post, and it's got it! Touchdown! Touchdown, 49ers!
It is second down. Ryan takes the snap, throws the slant to the left side. It's Russell, intercepted! The 49ers pick it, and Navarro Bowman is redemption! Navarro Bowman running it all the way for the touchdown! No greater redemption!
The San Francisco 49ers, we can do whatever we want.
Click, click, boom. What's going on, faithfuls? It's your boys, Mike and Tony, and we are here to bring you guys another fun-filled episode of Nothing But Niners. Man, guys, listen, we are here for a good time, not a long time, so we are going to run through these formalities really quick. Scrolling across the bottom of the screen are your YouTube instructions. If it's your first time here, hopefully you guys enjoy the show. Hit the like button, subscribe, turn your notifications so you know exactly when we're going live. Give us a follow on some of our social media platforms. You can start with Snapchat and X. Those handles are Nothing But 9, ERS. That is the number 9. We have Facebook, Twitch, and Instagram. Those handles are Nothing But Niners. And last but certainly not least, guys, head on over to Patreon, patreon.com/NB9ERS. It is the place to be if you want to have some fun with me and Tony and Nick and Wayne. Oh, did I say Nick? Because maybe I meant it. What's up? Tony, what's going on, big dog? How you doing, man?
That was a good one. That was a good one. You slipped that.
I gotta let him guess. I gotta let him guess.
Yeah. What's up? What's going on?
Another day in paradise, man. We got some stuff to talk about. It turns out our last Patreon video was not able to be turned into anything public. So if you guys caught it live, cool. If you guys missed it, man, you missed a doozy. Tony and I went over the John Lynch presser. There were a lot of takeaways in there. There was some language in that John Lynch presser that let us know. What did we say after we walked away? There's a less than 3% chance Deebo was going to be on this team, right?
Yes.
And it was like, all right, he's out of here, right? Like
See ya.
he was out of here. Yep. There was some other big takeaways in there. Tony, one of the things that you talked about ad nauseum was, well, not ad nauseum. I won't make it sound like you were nagging, but you emphasize on how much John Lynch talked about cash and this team's cash spending. And I think we need to kind of run that back. I think we need to bring that to the attention of our viewers here, because why is that important? Every team talks about cap space every year, and every team fights to get under cap space and all that. So what is the difference? Why was that something that caught your ear, and what does it mean?
Because cash is straight cash, homie. Straight out the bank account. There ain't no over this, over that. Cash. That's what it is. It goes from Wells Fargo account for the 49ers to the Bank of America account to whoever it was at the time.
Gotcha.
That's the difference.
But the Niners,
no penny pincher, bro.
Okay, here we go. See, this now we're gonna get into it. We got to talk about it because there's this idea that the Niners are a cheap organization. If it's not Eddie DeBartolo, it's the wrong way. Tony, what are your thoughts on this? Because you don't mind criticizing the team when they don't do something that you like. So what are your thoughts on it? Because I, for one, you guys have seen my pinned tweet before. It is thanking Jed York for doing things the right way. I don't think that he's cheap. I don't think that he's a penny pincher. I think that any owner that is paying 3 or 4 coaches at a time and continuing to turn over his front office is everything except cheap, right? Like, he may be incorrect a lot. He may be wrong a lot, but I can't call that man cheap, especially when he keeps signing these kind of deals where he's got to continue to pay these guys after they're no longer providing him a service. What are your thoughts, Tony?
Yeah, it basically comes down to this. My thing is, I'm not the person to sit there and say Jed York is cheap. They're not cheap. The Yorks are not a cheap family. They paid multiple coaches, head coaches, at least that we know about, head coaches multiple salaries over extended time because they fired them, like Tom Sula, Jim Kelly, Chip Kelly, even Mike Singletary they were paying still at one point. Players, the Fords, Eric Armsteads, all these people are getting paid. And I understand the coaches don't have to do it. I'm just talking about it from a money aspect of this. That's what I'm talking about. This team does not have a problem handing out cash. And they just did it again this year. Damn, bro, you salute more than me than more in here than I do at work. That's crazy.
It was for the people saying what's up to us. I'm just trying to show some love to the chat.
So my thing is this, right? If you look, okay, hold on. Okay, I don't want to say this. The last several years, 2-3 years, we'll say, Lynch, Shanahan said, "Oh, we think this guy can help us. We want to get him." Jed, can we restructure their contracts, push money down the line, and we'll give them a cash bonus this year so we can free up some cap space? Okay, do it. Bro, they've been doing this shit for the last 3 years. Jed York has had to easily hand out over $100 million in cash over the last 3 years with some of these guys. He had to. Like, that's what people don't understand, right? Why I don't like restructuring and kicking the can down the road, what that does is, let's say he's allocated, just hypothetically, for $25 million cap hit this year. What the 49ers, they have to have a base salary, they have to have a roster bonus, whatever, blah, 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 blah. So they lower all that shit. They lower it to like $2.5 million, $4 million, we'll say. Or we'll say $5 million. They lower it to $5 million. That is on the cap. That is on the cap hit. And then they take that $20 million and then they spread it over 4 years, an additional $5 million onto their salary. And that money gets given to the player up front. So Joe Schmo John Lynch wants to restructure Joe Schmo's contract because he wants to get $20 million to go sign Javon Hargrave and some type of money to use towards Hargrave and a couple other players. Got you. So Joe Schmo gets $20 million transferred into his bank account. The 49ers are now responsible for the next 4 years, an additional $5 million on top of the salaries, that the structure of his salary that's according to his contract. So now more money gets added, and most teams do this. Like, most teams structure their deals. The first year the free agent signs with them, it's usually a low number. An extension, it's usually a low number, and then it gets higher as the years go on. So 4 years from now, Joe Schmo's salary could be, due to the restructure, $38 million. And Joe Schmo's not worth $38 million. So guess what? Now the Niners are stuck with Joe Schmo's $38 million. And that's where the cash effect comes in. Right? Look what they did with Deebo. They ate this money up front this year with that trade. So there's cash being involved in this. There's money that they're eating and that's involved in this. And to come out and say that Jed York is cheap, I just can't see it or say it because the money keeps coming out. It's not like there's a cold streak and saying, that's it, no money.
It's so weird because Joe Schmo may not be worth $38 million in year 6 of his deal, but he may have been worth $38 million in year 2 of his deal. Right? Like, who would argue if you guys knew that Brock Purdy was going to make it to the Super Bowl in the 2023-2024 season, who would have argued, oh, Brock Purdy's not worth $50 million? No, he's going to a Super Bowl. Everyone's going to be like, oh, yeah, he's worth it. But now we have this year that we just had last year. Now everyone's like, I don't know if he's worth the money, right? Like we can't – that's not how the contracts work. And the other thing I want to push back on you with is George Kittle is someone who had recently restructured his deal, and he said on record, I don't know why people keep thinking that we get paid or we get money when we restructure. I didn't get a dime for restructuring. That to this day still has me confused because then I don't understand what happened then. You know what I'm saying? But it was an announcement that he did it, and then I don't think it was at the podium. I think it was a locker room thing, and he was like, I wish I got paid. I don't get a dime. I'm going to see if I can find it. But I'm pretty sure George Kittle said that he doesn't get a dime for restructuring.
I mean, I can't see that he's not getting a dime. I think that's a little far-fetched for him to say that. I think he does get money because what you're doing is you're taking guaranteed money that he's guaranteed, and either you're paying it in a cash bonus or you're forwarding even more down the road. And that's where you really get in trouble because you're 2 years down the road where you need to make a decision, or, you're talking about, is this player worth what? Should we move on from him? Should we keep him? Should we extend him? That number is going to be through the roof. So that's why I don't understand that notion. I can't see how he did not make any money off of that.
I found it, man. I am like, oh, man, I'm on fire right now. Okay. So this is the clip. I'm going to run it back. Let me share it. This is George Kittle here. All right. I'm running back. It's short. It's only 20 seconds, but listen to him. Let me know if you can hear this, okay?
Nick Bosa's here. I'm a Niner. I love this team. It doesn't really affect me at all. I did not get a $10 million signing bonus for what you guys put on Twitter. I did not get that paycheck. It's just the way they restructure it. That would have been cool. Yeah, it would have been sick. I love signing bonuses, but no, I did not get any money up front for that. I'm just being a nice guy. Nick Bosa's here.
Signing bonus is not a restructure.
There's two things he said there, though. There's two things he said. He said, I did not get a $10 million signing bonus like you guys said. He said, I'm just being a nice guy. He said, I did not get any money up front. Listen to how he ends it also.
I'm a Niner. I love this team. It doesn't really affect me at all. I did not get a $10 million signing bonus for what you guys put on Twitter. I did not get that paycheck. It's just the way they restructure it. That would have been cool. Yeah, it would have been sick. I love signing bonuses, but no, I did not get any money up front for that. I'm just being a nice guy.
I did not get any money up front for that. I'm just being a nice guy. So are you suggesting that he would have seen his benefits down the road at the end of the contract? That's when he would have gotten more money? Because then why would any player do that? That's fake money then.
Yeah, I don't understand why he's saying that because it's not a signing bonus, number one. So that's where I'm kind of like, I don't understand what the signing bonus comes into play. Signing bonuses are in the beginning of a new deal.
Right.
So I don't know where he's coming from with the signing bonus allegation or whatever you want to call that, but that's how they do it. They bump the money down, they give it to him as a bonus, and that's it. It's not a signing bonus. They're forwarding you money that because they're paying you now, they're stretching it down the duration of the contract. But I mean, could they have said, well, $20 million, now we ain't giving you nothing now. We're just going to forward $20 million down like 2 years from now or to the next year or roll it over or I don't know, behind closed doors what they do. I'm just trying to tell you between what you hear, what you read, and what you see, and try to compute that all together and come up with an answer. But that's no way near a signing bonus.
Yeah.
A restructure is a restructure.
So, yeah, a restructure is very different than re-signing. So I completely agree with you there. Listen, so this whole cash versus cap thing, it seems like the 49ers have refocused their strategy. Maybe they've tweaked their strategy on how they spend and where they spend. I saw a comment here earlier about maybe it's who they're spending the money on the wrong players. I just, Fluffy said it here. Here we go. I feel that at times they allocate funds to the wrong players, but you don't know they're the wrong players until after you give them the money, right? And then you see the results, right? Like everyone feels like the Brandon Aiyuk contract was a mistake, but if Aiyuk went out there and had 1,300 yards and 12 touchdowns, none of us would feel like it was a mistake, right? But he's got to get the money before he plays, right? Everyone felt like Javon Hargrave's money is a mistake, but if Javon Hargrave went out there and got double-digit sacks and was the best run stopper in the league, no one would have felt like it was a mistake.
I understand that, but what my point to you is where the mistake came in is how they handled Deebo last year. When they restructured Deebo and pushed it to this year, and that's why they're eating $31 million this year. What do they do? Like if you take that $31 million that you're paying or not paying, that's allocated to Deebo, plus the salary that Brandon Aiyuk is making this year, I think it was like $20 million, his number. That's over $50 million of money tied to two wide receivers in an offense that is really not known to be a pass-happy offense. Now, What I think happened was they did that investment. They tried to be a pass-happy offense, and they saw that, how do you say this? It wasn't what they thought it would be. Whether it was Deebo having a step back in his production, whether it was the Aiyuk injury, Aiyuk coming in off of a holdout in piss poor shape. We don't know. So is there potentially buyer's remorse with the whole Brandon Aiyuk situation? There could be. There very well could be. But the vibe that I'm starting to get now is one of two things. Christian McCaffrey's 100% healthy, and they're fully confident in him. And the second thing is this offense is going to go through Kittle and McCaffrey rather than wide receivers.
Hey, look, okay, all right. I hear you saying that they are 100% confident in McCaffrey. Are you? Are you 100% confident in Christian McCaffrey right now? This guy, I'm not even going to pour more sauce on it. Do you think?
I mean, we don't know, right? I'm just going by what you see, what his father said at the Super Bowl. I understand what you're saying, but you have to go by what they're saying, at least for now, until we see it with our own eyes. You can't sit here and say,
no, we don't. No, we don't have to go by what they say.
You have to. You got to keep hope. You got to be like somewhat upbeat and positive. What are you going to come in negative Nancy? Just say he sucks.
Kyle said he was a possibility to play week 1.
Who?
We don't have to. Kyle said Christian McCaffrey was a possibility to play week 1 last year. Remember? That's why it was a big deal. He was questionable. The guy didn't play for the first 8-9 games.
Yeah, but you're talking about last year. I'm talking about this year. There's two different things. You're talking about 2024. I'm talking about 2025.
It's the same person with.
He went across the seas to get stem cell treatment with his Achilles. Okay, there's a reason why he went across the seas, because that's not offered in the States. Okay, number 2, the only reason why he was hurt for the rest of the year, I don't think it was because of his Achilles. What was reported is because when he got tripped up and slammed his knee into that ice cold turf in Buffalo, that injured the patella tendon in his knee. Now, from what we're reading and what we're privy to understand about this situation, we got to go by what we're reading and seeing and have some type of positive effect and some type of positive hope in us saying, all right, maybe he's ready. Maybe he's ready to make that second plunge and to have another solid season. I don't expect the MVP offensive player of the year type thing, but having Christian McCaffrey on the field, getting significant touches, not astronomical touches, but a more above average touches this year, I think could improve this offense. And I think with that being said, for them to say so easily, we're moving off of Deebo and entertaining phone calls on Brandon Aiyuk, who you just gave an extension to, and you're willing to eat some of that money that the guarantees that you're responsible for, that tells me that they are looking to go back to what made them good. Run the ball, play defense.
All right. So you just touched on the whole Deebo being traded thing, and I don't think we've gone live since that has happened, so we should discuss that even briefly. So this was the 49ers trading with the Washington Commanders. They're sending Deebo Samuel for a 5th-round pick. Tony, what were your thoughts on this happening?
I mean, it was kind of expected. We knew it was coming. We knew the situation. The 49ers are about to extend. Hold on one second. We're about to extend their quarterback going forward in Brock Purdy. And you all know what happens with teams once they have to pay big for their quarterback. Example, Seattle Seahawks, they broke apart that whole team defensively. They broke apart that team. And you saw the downgrade, the drop in play and production. Their offensive line got affected. So all I'm trying to say is the production of Jawan Jennings last year, the strong finish from Ricky Pearsall, the 1st-round pick from the previous year, I think they're saying in their heads, okay, well, we got these guys on somewhat of a control of a salary. for the next couple of years, Deebo's not going to be back. We're not going to be able to bring Deebo back after 2025. So if we can move on from him, get something in return, and still shed $17.5 million instead of having to eat that as well, shed $17.5 million to Washington, get a 5th round pick back, that's a move that you make if he's not a part of your future. And if you feel that there could be a potential drop off in his play. I think there's a couple other things that also affect that decision, but we're not going to go into that. But that's why this deal was done. I think they feel that the wide receiver position can be altered a little bit to try to recoup some money to get this extension done and keep other crucial pieces intact, as well as make up the upgrades to areas that they feel that is needed to upgrade.
So, unnecessary evil, in your opinion, getting rid of Deebo here? Yeah?
What's that?
I said unnecessary evil, in your opinion, getting rid of Deebo here?
What do you mean by that?
Like, this is, I don't think that this is something that the Niners wanted to do. I don't think this is something that Deebo wanted to do, but do you think this was necessary for the Niners to get back to their winning ways? Whether it be because of play design, because of forcing the ball to Deebo, because of attitude in the locker room. Do you think this was necessary to get rid of Deebo?
It could be a percentage of it. It could be a percentage that this is what needed to be done to transition, to go forward, not only financially, but, let's keep it real. This team was warned about Deebo, about something about him as a player during the season. And, the whole question about where his weight was. There's reports saying, I'm not saying it, but I'm just telling you, there was reports saying that he was 20 plus pounds overweight by the end of the season.
Well, he clarified. He clarified that. He said it was 25 pounds overweight, right? So he's doing this thing. I'll show you. Actually, I won't even try to. Let me see here. Where is he? Who is he? He's 19 problems or something like that. Is that his Twitter handle still?
Yeah, I saw that. He did the 225 thing. I saw
that. Where are you, Mr. Samuel? Here we go. All right. So this was the tweet originally here. Let's present this. Share screen. Bang. All right. Boom. So remove that. Add that. Here's the tweet here. Matt Burrows got confirmation on Tim Kawakami's report about Deebo Samuel being 20 pounds overweight last year. Okay, and Deebo says 225 to be exact. This is it here. 225 to be exact. Can't wait till this season start. Fresh start, new bow. Cold. I don't speak 20-year-old language anymore, so I don't know what that means. I'm old. I'm washed. It's okay. So Deebo was 225. He was 225. I don't know what 20 pounds overweight is. That means that there's a target goal for him. And Deebo was saying he was 225 to be exact. He didn't say that he was 20 pounds overweight because we don't know what the target was. Did they want him to play it at exactly 200? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know if there's a structure in his contract where he has to be at a certain weight, but just put it like this. They were warned about this situation from the South Carolina head coach. And, he starts off in great shape, and and listen, he went through some adversity. He was in a hospital with pneumonia. I understand that, had some injuries, but it's tough. So they made the decision to move on to him. It is what it is. This is a move that they had to make to try to keep pieces together that they felt was going to be a part of the team's future. There's still two moves that they can make right now that could free up some cap space, and that's extending Warner and extending Kittle. I don't see that as detrimental to the contract, to the cap. Kittle's a free agent next year. I think Fred Warner might have 2 more years on his deal. So, or a year on his deal after this one. I'm not 100% sure, but those are moves that they can make to try to gain some cap space, still eat Deebo's contract, and still have an opportunity to bring in a couple pieces to this offense. I think this offseason to this roster, but I think this main offseason will be focused on the draft and undrafted free agency to rebuild it with youth, speed, and controlment of salaries.
So Deebo got a little bit of slack for that tweet that he put out. Can't wait for the fresh start. Like, oh, like I'm coming in motivated. And everyone was kind of like hating on him a little bit. You know, it was like, well, what the heck is his problem? Why didn't he want to be with the Niners and all that stuff? And that spurned another response tweet from Deebo. And by the way, I think that in the last month, I've talked about Deebo more than I have in the entire football season combined. I just thought that was pretty impressive. So he puts this post here out, and it says, 49ers know where I stand with them, and it's nothing but love. Love John and Kyle to death. No bad blood, no way, shape, or form. They know I'm more than appreciative of everything they've done for me as a player and a man. Nothing but love. Tony, this kind of speaks to one of my little conspiracy theories, right? Like I've been saying that I think that people and players and coaches are kind of out on Kyle Shanahan. I think that Kyle runs thin on people and they want to go, you know? Deebo's kind of saying the opposite here. No, it's all love. They did what was best for me and my family, and I appreciate it. I thank them for, you know, setting me up the way that they did, helping me earn this money. I think Deebo knows that Kyle made him look good on the field. Not to say that he wouldn't have looked good without Kyle, but I think that he knows that Kyle looked him out. He gave him some extra touches. He used them to the best of his abilities and kept it pushing. Now, what do you think Deebo meant by that last tweet that I just put up there? Fresh start. Got the response of, it's all love. John and Kyle know how I feel about them. I appreciate them as a man and as a player. Is it just his way of saying, like, all the fake animosity or what people were speculating on, it's not there, it's not real?
I don't know, because when you go back to the first part, what?
I completely forgot it was March. I was supposed to be doing March Madness. I'm like 4 days out. Oh, man, I forgot it was March. All right, I got to do a midnight show. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
I think, how do I say this? My thing is this. He asked for the trade. That's what was being reported. At the exit meetings, he asked for the trade. So,
correct.
I don't know if that's something transpired behind closed doors between them and there was a blow up. I don't know. But is that somewhat damage control on his end to try to make his peace? He did ask for a trade. By asking for a trade, it made the 49ers not look as bad. It's just saying, like, you know, all right, we don't need you no more. But the NFL is a business. It's a shrewd business. And this is what teams need to do as far as making a decision when to move on from a player at the right time. And I think this is one of those decisions that they made. And, you know, going forward, it's going to help the team. Now, you're talking about this team having an abundance cap space next year because of making that decision to move it now. So, and eating it this year. So, you know, that's where I'm at. I mean, is it fake? It could be fake. It'd just be like, you know, I'm not going to say damage control, but it could just be going through the motions and just saying the right thing. But I think there was a bridge that was burnt between them two.
Yeah.
And it could be tied to on the field stuff that he did that was nationally broadcasted. And, you know, in a way, calling out Kyle, saying, get me more targets. And in a crucial part of the time, you drop the ball on a clear touchdown pass. Is literally the center of your chest. So that's where we're at with that.
Delvin Thomas, thank you for the super chat here. It's strange. He hasn't been the same or himself since he changed his jersey number from 19 to 1.
I agree with that.
Can't wear the number if it doesn't fit your play. You said you agree with this. Which part?
I kind of agree with that. I just do. I mean, he was like, how do I say this without being an asshole?
Oh no, you're from Jersey. It's just going to come out in asshole tone anyway. You might as well just let it go, bro.
That's just a me. That's just a me statement. That's like, look at me. I'm number one. Like,
Changing
you know what I'm
his
saying?
number?
Like,
Mad people change their number.
yeah, but to number one. Like,
Only,
you have what's
only
his name
one
wearing
person can be
0,
number
but
one.
that was his number coming out after training camp. Green, the rookie. But just like the mentality of him, like I feel like he came into the league, he came out okay. Then he had that monster year. They gave him the extension, and then it was like, okay, like that was it. Like it was like, ew. I mean, come on, you yourself said they overpaid for him. So don't try to change.
Don't put my words in my mouth. Don't
change it. Don't try to change it now.
I'm just saying that I don't.
You said they overpaid for him. You know that.
I don't think jersey numbers reflect in play. I don't.
Then why do you change from 1 to 19 to 1?
Well, I think he wanted to wear number 1 for personal reasons, but I'm saying that I don't think that jersey numbers reflect play. Like, was Fred Warner any better from 48 to 54? Like, is there a better version of Fred Warner?
You're talking about a number that was handed to him as a fucking third-round pick as a linebacker that out of the draft.
I'm just saying.
Here's 48, Rook. Wear this.
All right, what about when Jimmy Ward changed his number to number 1? He was still the best guy in our secondary.
Well, his play backed it up. He was number 1 in that secondary.
His play backed it up before he was number 1 is all I'm saying.
He was number 1 in that secondary, I'll tell you that. And I think that team misses him as much as we overlooked it.
All right, man. Hey, look, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Listen, so all this wide receiver talk, we might as well just finish this thing up here with wide receivers. The reports are coming in right now, and I want to caution you all out there who are watching YouTube videos, listening to insider reports, following your favorite content creators, right? I want to be very clear with something, and that is to pay attention to words. Words mean things, okay? There's a report that's coming out now that's making its way across all socials, and it's because it's from Ian Rappaport saying that the 49ers are willing to listen to any trade calls concerning Brandon Aiyuk. Now, this trade tweet concerning Brandon Aiyuk has been cycling around so much, and it's been recycled and it's been reworded over and over and over and over and over. And there's a reason for it, right? First it was, poking around, right? And then it was the Niners got trade calls. John Lynch was asked about that. He did not confirm that they got trade calls about Brandon Aiyuk. But he did say, we get trade calls about all good players, and we listen to all those calls. But he did not say that he got trade calls about Brandon Aiyuk, okay? So now the report is coming out saying that the Niners will listen to calls about wide receiver Brandon Aiyuk. They will listen to trade calls about Brandon Aiyuk. And I want to tell you guys, that's nothing worth reporting. The Niners will listen to trade calls concerning anybody at any time in any status. Does it mean they'll entertain it? Does it mean that they'll consider it? Does it mean they even want it or think it will happen? Absolutely not. But they'll listen. You can call the 49ers right now and say, hey, I got a trade proposal for Kyle Shanahan. They're going to listen, they're going to laugh, and they're going to hang up. The Niners don't think anyone is actually going to call and make a trade for Brandon Aiyuk, guys. You want to know why it's so unbelievable? Because every 49ers fan, including myself, including Tony sitting right next to me right now, and he may not admit it, but including Tony sitting right next to me right now, would be absolutely floored if the Niners got a call and a real trade offer for Brandon Aiyuk. I don't think there's a single GM in the entire NFL who says, wow, that guy just blew out all parts of his knee. And he's got a big deal. And he's probably not going to want to restructure anything. And we don't know when he's going to play football again in 2025. Let's go and get him. That's my guy. There's no GM out there saying that right now. There isn't. Will the Niners listen to a phone call if one were to come over about trading for Brandon Aiyuk? You bet your sweet ass they will. But are those calls really coming in? I don't think so. I don't. Tony, on a scale of 1 to 10, if you were told that the Niners had a legitimate offer for Brandon Aiyuk and they were offering a 6th-round pick, how would you feel? Should the Niners take it? All the above. A 6th-round pick. They got a 5th for a healthy Deebo.
I think it ties to what the negotiation is as far as financial responsibilities. That's what I think it is. I think it comes down to if they feel that they can do something, add somebody or there's someone in this draft that next year could take on a role. Notice how I said next year, because no matter what, year one, a wide receiver, if it's not due to significant injuries at the position, example, Brandon Aiyuk, Deebo being banged up, Pearsall getting on the field, they usually don't have a lot of production year one of a rookie at the draft. But I do feel, honestly, that if there's a team out there that offers to take that deal on, I think the Niners do it.
For a 6th-round pick?
I think the Niners might do it, Mike. I think they want that contract off their books. I really do. Don't shake your head and look like that, because you know damn well there's some buyer's remorse with that deal.
I tell you this. If the Niners got any trade offer for a 2025 pick for Brandon Aiyuk, they should run to the table and turn it in.
That's what I'm saying. I honestly think if they offer something, I mean, listen, the Niners might try to hold out. They might try to get a little bit more, squeeze the team, whatever. And don't forget, Mike, you have 1, 2, 3 teams with significant cap space. And I'm talking one of them over $100 million, which, by the way, don't have a wide receiver.
They don't have a quarterback. All right, go ahead. I'm listening. Do you know you know how quick you get fired for trading for an injured wide receiver, making top 10 money that may not play football again, and you don't even have a quarterback? You're fired. Drake May is a quarterback?
Why, you don't think they believe that he could be the quarterback of that future? I'm talking like as a football player. You're not a Patriots fan, so I don't understand why you're saying they don't have a quarterback. Like, some Patriot fans think that he's a good quarterback.
All right. My apologies. No shade at Drake May. He has no business catching strays in this conversation. None at all. They don't have a proven quarterback to say, oh, we were a couple pieces away and a wide receiver is one of them. All these – did you see the list of free agents that are out there for wide receivers this year? Honestly, have you seen the list?
Yes, and one of them's franchise tagged. The top one is franchise tagged.
I got you, buddy. I got you. Who posted that damn list today?
I know who the free agents are. There's no one big after T. Higgins. I mean, there's Cooper, there's Slayton from the Giants, there's now Devontae Adams, there's a free agent. There's some names out there, but if you're looking to build an offense, there's Godwin. Guy just posted in the chat. There's some players out there, but I mean,
And you're telling me that Brandon Aiyuk would be more appealing than any of those guys, right? Like that's kind of my point. It's one thing to say like, oh, someone could find Brandon Aiyuk appealing. Sure, in a box and in a vacuum, yeah, someone out there potentially could find Brandon Aiyuk appealing. But when you hold up this list of free agents and you know that they're at least healthy, Brandon Aiyuk isn't better than any of those guys for your team week one. Not a single one of them.
I understand it.
And some of these guys are our age.
I understand. I understand what you're trying to say. I know what you're doing. But what I'm trying to say to you is if they're interested in that player, they're interested in the player. They're interested in the player with his skill set and projecting to their offense. When it comes to the injury, I promise you, they will get in touch with Dr. Albert Trash, whatever his name is, who did the ACL surgery on him, the full knee repair. And they will be in contact with their medical staff, him with his reports. There will be due diligence done on the medical side of the knee. Because if you take the knee away, what's the holdup?
What do you mean if you take the knee away?
No, I'm saying if the knee is okay and it checks out, what's the other holdup?
If the knee's okay and it checks out, then the Niners aren't trading Aiyuk either.
Well, how do you know? Like, this is what I'm telling you. There's buyer remorse with that contract with this team. I'm telling you, Mike, there is. As much as you don't want to hear that through your ears, there's buyer remorse with this contract with this team. I'm sorry.
I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone. So they signed a deal less than 12 months ago.
I'm telling you the truth. I really think there's buyer's remorse with that contract. I do. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right.
I do.
I want to show you this list, and I want you to tell me, because you're saying if everything's okay with the knee. Everything is not okay with the knee. That's more than an if.
Mike,
that's a magic wand wave you're doing, bro.
I'm looking at it in black and white. I'm talking to you like common sense now.
I'm talking to you as a GM.
I'm talking to you from the medical staff to their medical, from the doctor to the medical staff. If they say everything is where it's supposed to be in the recovery, obviously he's not 100%. Newsflash, breaking news. He's not 100%. We know that. We know that. But what I'm telling you is between the team's medical staff and his doctor, if they feel that knee is up to par, ahead of schedule, and the pre-op surgery, the post-op surgery reports come back positive, there is a possibility the team will take a chance on it. There is. Because if he comes back 100% healthy, and Albatross is no slouch. Allegedly, he's the top ACL doctor in this country. All athletes go to Albatross. So if the recovery is good, if they feel they're comfortable, the New England Patriots, the New York Jets, the Calgary Stampeders, whatever the fuck it is, if they feel comfortable with where that knee is in that recovery, there could be a possibility that they make a deal. A team offers the 49ers a deal. There could be. There also could be a situation where they might say, you know what? I don't feel comfortable with the situation. We're going to stand back. That's it. But I'm telling you, teams are sniffing. When I say sniffing, they're trying to get approval to get medical reports from the knee. You're laughing. Do you think it's a joke? It's serious, Mike.
I'm laughing because I don't think that there's a single team call on trying to trade for Brandon Aiyuk. That's why I'm laughing.
Okay.
That's why I'm laughing.
And when it happens, if it happens, you better run because I'm going all over Twitter and media.
It's not going to happen.
Fucking channel to say I told you so. I'm telling you, Mike. I'm telling you, there's buyer's remorse with this deal. As much as you don't want to admit it, as much as you don't want to see it, there is buyer's remorse with this deal.
Let's talk about the deal. How much dead cap did the Niners just eat to get rid of Deebo?
It would have been in the over 40, but it's like 30 right now.
How much dead cap would they eat to get rid of Aiyuk right now? 1 year into his new deal.
I don't know.
All right. Well, let's play the game. Let's play the game. Let's just see what it says. Do you have a website of preference?
I can give two shits.
All right.
I don't know. Right. I don't think they're either of them are right because they're both off. Then you listen to Lombardi. I don't know. I just think they're both off. All
Brandon Aiyuk's dead cap this year is 39.2. Oh, guys. All right. I'm not even going to do the dead cap. It's over $39 million. So you're telling me that the team is going to eat $70 million to get rid of Deebo and Aiyuk?
Now listen, I'm just telling you that if something that's without working out language as far as finances, as far as what the team's going to eat, what the 49ers will be responsible for, we don't know what it's going to be. But I'm just telling you this. if the team is comfortable with where he is in his recovery, and the 49ers get the offer that they're comfortable with, I'm just saying there could be a potential where something could be done. That's all I'm telling you.
Okay. All right. Now, I hear you. I accept what you're saying. What wide receiver on this list would you take? I'm sorry. Would you take Aiyuk over right now? No magic fairy dust and Mr. Miyagi, the knee or anything like that.
I mean, pretty much. Listen, when he's healthy, I mean, you take him over everybody. I mean, right? That's why they paid him.
I'm not talking about when he's. I'm talking about right now, and heading into this offseason. Which receiver on this list is worse than Brandon Aiyuk right now?
Is
there anyone? Yes.
Well, I mean, he's not playing, so obviously they're all ahead of him. You don't know what he's going to be like when he comes back, do you? I mean, if you do, tell me the Mega Millions number.
I tell you what, I hope a GM. Oh God, I swear to God, I hope a GM tries to trade for Brandon Aiyuk. I would love to hear that pitch, like when you approach the rest of your front office and your owner. I got this great idea. Like, that's got to be worse than the person who pitched the idea of the Special Olympics. Like, this can't be something that sounds good when you say it. It just can't sound good when you first present it. Maybe in theory, like you said, there's a situation and scenario where it could play out and be positive. But when you walk into a room and present this to somebody that holds your fate in their hands and you say, I want to get a guy who just signed a massive deal who may not play football again.
You know what the difference is here? What you're trying to say and what I'm trying to say is the teams that would sniff around the deal now are the same teams that were interested in trading for him last year and signing him to that deal. So you got to look. Remember, the Patriots gave him the highest offer financially in a breakdown per year on paper. They were upwards of $32 million at one point that was being reported, their offer. He didn't go there. They didn't trade him. Right? The compensation wasn't there for the Niners. But all I'm trying to tell you is if it's the same teams that are looking at him post-injury, if it's the same teams that are looking at him pre-injury, and it happens to be the same teams that are looking at him post-injury, something's there. Where there's smoke, there's a fire burning somewhere. That's all I'm trying to say. That's all I'm trying to say. And one of the teams have over $100 million in cap space. That's all I'm just trying to tell you. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm not saying he's out. I'm not saying the 49ers are getting a first pick. No, I'm just telling you, if it was just random teams popping out, I'd be like, you know what, Mike, it's probably bullshit. They're probably generating interest. But the same teams that sniffed around them last year are sniffing around them this year. That tells me something.
I think
that there could be significant interest, serious interest in trying to bring him in. That's all I'm telling you.
I think the Niners would be silly to get rid of a guy that they have $27 million in the next 2 years in cap space. Brandon Aiyuk's total cap hits for the next 2 seasons, this season and next, are only $27 million. So the dead cap, I don't know how much buyer's remorse there is with this contract. If the way I'm looking at it here, looks like the Niners got a steal. This contract looks like a steal in comparison to what people are saying. I don't get it. I don't know. Base salary of less than $1.22 million every year.
Are you serious? You're really looking at the $1.2 million a year to rectify whether it's.
I'm looking at the cap hit.
Come on.
What's
Mike?
the buyer's remorse? The cap hit is $11 million
buyer's
this
remorse,
year.
They handed this guy a massive contract. He came in piss poor shape. He's showing videos of himself catching a fucking ball through a goddamn tree, making a joke out of it.
That has nothing to do with the cap. You said the contract was bad. I'm asking what part of the contract.
Is giving this player that type of money and the outcome that they're getting back. Take the injury out of it. He came in piss poor shape. He was screwing around all through the hold in because he didn't want to lose credit for a year or get fined, right? I'm taking like his demeanor, his attitude, his temper tantrum with the shorts when Kyler told him to put black shorts on instead of red shorts. There's a lot of, like, to me, bad mojo with that. I don't like that. If you're a team and that day you're coming out with reds and blacks on, you come out with reds and blacks and not friggin' reds and whites or reds and whatever. Why do you have to do that shit and make like an individual about himself? I don't like that shit. You're a part of a team. You have a code. You come in, all right, defense is in reds with black shorts, offense is in white with black shorts. Follow the order. Why did you have to come out like that? And then to top it all off, he had the right shorts underneath, and just to try to prove a point, saying, I'm going to get away with this on Brandon Aiyuk, then he drops his drawers and kicks him on the other side and had the right color on the whole time underneath. Come on, dude. That's not good. That's not a good sign to me. I'm sorry. That's borderline character issue, in my opinion.
So okay, all right. I'm just trying to be clear. I thought when you said buyer's remorse, you said with the contract. So you're saying with the person.
I'm saying buyer's remorse for what they paid, what they're stuck with for the person spitting it together. That's what I'm saying, buyer's remorse.
The contract is great.
The contract's great.
Yes, absolutely.
Because you're looking at $1.2 million. It's great.
No, Tony, I'm looking at his cap hit for the next 2 years. I'm looking at only $22 million signing bonus that was split up over all that time.
What's looking at the dead figure in year 3 and 4.
Year 3 of the deal, his cap hit is $42 million.
Oh, okay. That's a good contract, right? Come on,
that's a great contract for a top 10 wide receiver in 3 years. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I got you. I digress. You're right. You got it.
Do you? Am I saying something wrong? I'm not trying to be funny at all. But if you're saying that his buyer's remorse because of his antics and all that stuff, then that's different. I thought you were specifically talking about the contract.
The antics. I'm taking
plus the contract
and putting it together. That's what I'm taking and putting it in totality of a picture. Right? Let me ask you this. And I know it's a different era. I know it's a different player. Okay? And I know you're going to make the face and do the and then you can't compare them. I know you. If you hand Jerry Rice that type of money and he was holding out for a contract, you think he's coming in Brandon Aiyuk shape? Tell me.
No, but
Jerry. That's all I'm saying.
Jerry
That's
Rice
all I'm
has
saying.
a work ethic unlike anybody.
And that's my point. I digress. That's my point. He was on his mind was this. Not production, not career. He had his monster year that got him in the position to get this contract. And it's kind of like almost the same thing like you said previously in past practice with Deebo Samuel's contract, right? He had his monster year, got his extension, and what happened? Am I right or am I wrong?
I don't know.
Did you not say that about Deebo?
Oh, yeah. You're right about me saying that about Deebo for sure.
So then let me ask you
the difference is.
What's the difference?
I was going to say the difference is we got the chance to see Deebo over a long amount of games. We didn't get to see that with Aiyuk because he got cut short, 4 or 5 games in. That's the only thing I was going to say. I mean, production is production. When you total up the year, the numbers are the numbers, right? So absolutely, he didn't live up to it. But Deebo had more opportunities to show it. So I just don't know that Aiyuk wouldn't have improved if he stayed healthy is what I'm saying. But I get what you're saying.
This, and I'm going to keep it simple because we got other shit to talk about because I know you're going to jump out with Wayne soon. I don't even know what time it is. Yeah. My thing is this. If you're sitting here saying, shooting a video, pulling up to the gate, pay me, let me in, this is my house, and they pay you? No, I'm being honest with you.
I remember, yeah. I love how you got all this shit like fresh. This shit really scarred you.
He did all this shit, pay me. He's in the backyard of his house going like this in his underwear with a hat on, like in California in fucking June. Like, you got paid. The team held their bargain. Do yours. And guess what? He didn't because he came in piss poor shape. He was gassed. He was taking himself out of games. And you're asking for that type of money. That's why I think there's buyer remorse with the way he came in after his negotiations on what he want, how he wanted to be paid, all this intact. And I think that was It rubbed the team the wrong way. I'm sorry. That's my opinion. That's the way I see it. Just like you called it out with Deebo, I'm calling it out with Brandon Aiyuk. Because I saw what you said. It showed up in the picture. And now I'm telling you it's going to be like this with Aiyuk, and you're telling me no.
Wait. I never said no. I just looked for clarity because I thought you were strictly talking contract.
I'm talking difference. The total picture.
Yeah, no. I know that. You said that now, so I'm over it. I get it. I'm not saying you're wrong now. That's not what I'm saying anymore. I was mistaken on your intentions in the beginning, is what I'm saying. I got it now. And you're right. If I say it about this guy, how is it different for this guy? Right? And I defended the actions of Aiyuk all the way up until one point. And you didn't say that point yet, but I defended his actions all the way up. I said it's just negotiations. I don't think what he did is worse than Deebo. It's still just negotiations. I don't think what he did is worse than Deebo. I still don't think what he did is worse than Deebo. Then he did something, and I was like, oh, shit. That might be a little bit too much. I'm not trying to pour gasoline on the fire, so I'm going to let it go. You got the whole chat.
His teammate wound up with the quarterback that he wanted to be with the whole time.
That he wanted and was parading around during the press. That's what I'm talking about. How do you bring this guy in here talking about, oh, it's my guy, and now your other guy is with that guy now? It's fucking sucker. Like, that's the shit that...
That's why.
That's when I was like, all right, now you're crossing the line, bro.
The offense, by all means, the offense wasn't what it was or didn't perform up to expectations. We know that. There was a ton of injuries. The whole distraction with him, everything, it was a disaster, right? But I think the 49ers saw something. And they saw something with what they have in-house. That, is it perfect? No. Do they need to add to it? Yes. But to sit there and allocate that much money to one receiver when a guy who was barely a third option in this offense came out and almost had a 1,000-yard season and actually had a damn good season, I think that combined with other things, yeah, you're good. You're good. But I don't know. I just got a bad vibe from that whole situation. That's me.
Okay, that's fair. I respect that.
Kept him. Listen, if they kept him, it is what it is. And if he produces, okay, I'm good with it. But if he comes out and he plays the way he plays and is not taking it serious, and if he now here's the thing. If he comes in poor shape again this season, there's no excuse for him not to come in poor shape because now he's going to start ramping up like calisthenics, conditioning and running and sprinting. Cutting, not yet, but there's no reason why he should look as big as he did last year, this year.
If he can't run, it's going to be difficult for him to. It's gonna if Aiyuk can't run and stuff yet, it is going to be difficult for him to drop weight. That stuff is going to be harder for him to do. He could potentially come in bigger, like weight. Bigger.
Well, let's say they clear him. What is it? March. I mean, he ain't running yet. He's
right.
Walking,
no, I know. That's what I'm saying. So it's going to be. But March, I was only disputing it because you said there's no excuse. I still think there might be an excuse given his recovery, his projected recovery time. That's all.
I say June maybe he might be able to start like a light jog. I think he's not going to be able to cut. It's going to be under a supervised jog on like a treadmill. Or
the video I saw of him. The video I saw of him getting pulled over, I didn't see a crutch or a cane or anything like that. And
no, he's not in
passenger seat. I think he's walking. I think he's walking just fine right now. So it could get ramped up. But Delvin has another super chat here. I'm going to play the horn for this one. We're not going to find Jerry Rice caricature, guys. And like I agree. Like that Jerry Rice type of commitment to excellence, it's rare. That's what made Jerry Rice special, right? It wasn't the fastest 40. It wasn't, he was a good route runner, but it wasn't like the best route running we've ever seen and the best feet we've ever seen. Or it was that work ethic. Like, so that was, but I think Tony was just driving the point home. Like, that's what, I don't think he was trying to say, like, you give Rice this money or give anybody this money, they have to turn into Jerry Rice. I don't think
No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying if you're sitting there holding out, demanding something, you should be still working out. I mean, he was at the facility every day. There's no reason why he couldn't work out. And when it was time and you got what you wanted, you agreed to terms on an extension with the team, it should be, all right, helmet, shoulder pads, shorts, let's go. I'm ready. It shouldn't be, oh, let me ramp up, let me go on the side field and start working out again. That's not, I don't know.
I know you said there were some other topics you wanted to get to. Is there anything at the top of your mind that you want to talk about? Or do you want me to just throw some more things at you randomly?
No, you can just throw a couple more things. That's fine.
All right. So we have an off season right now where I think the Niners are in position to do a couple of special things. And every time I think, oh man, that's a name the Niners should look at, it turns out there's another one in that same position group that's being released or requesting a trade. What I want to talk to you about is the direction you think the Niners should go in this offseason. And this is going to be crucial for me to ask you because you're a person that does worry about the cap space and the future cap space and things of that nature. So there's a lot of defensive tackles that have either requested trades from their teams, have been released from their teams, and these are some really good players. There's some defensive ends in that same exact boat, requested trades, looking to be released, hoping to be released, wanting to get out of their contracts with their current teams. And at the same exact time, Tony, there's a lot of good defensive ends and defensive tackles in this draft. So my question to you is, how do you mix this up this offseason? The Niners are not in the worst position as far as cap space goes. They're not the best, right? Only one team can have the best cap space situation. But that same team that has the best cap situation has no player worth holding on to except maybe one. So it's kind of like what happens, right? When you have a roster with good players, the cap space is going to be a little bit lower. How would you do it? Are you focusing more on the sure thing in free agency and maybe trading some of these draft picks away to acquire some top end talent that you know is proven at the NFL level and spending that money on those guys? Are you going to just get one or two guys in free agency and then try to hope that you hit on every pick in the draft? Like how would you do it this year to make a run this year?
I think their free agency is going to set up what their draft plans are going to be, obviously, because free agency comes before. I think they have targeted a couple people. I think they're going to keep looking at the waiver wire leading up to free agency on players that are being cut. I mean, you're talking about Jenkins, the safety, Rashawn Jenkins, that signed with Seattle last year over the 49ers due to tax purposes and what they were willing to pay. He just got cut. Do they sniff around him? The rumors of Joey Bosa getting cut potentially from the Chargers. Do they sniff around him and team him up with Nick Bosa? You know, there's like the Jonathan Allen situation. There was rumors saying that he was a part of the deal coming back, but the 49ers obviously didn't want to take that salary coming back. The whole point of that trade was to unload salary, not take it on. So if there's a scenario where he would be cut, that's a way you could look at. I think certain specific positions, you see what I mean? I think certain specific positions, it's crazy. Like, he's just like so random.
You can leave it open.
I think certain positions they'll sniff around free agency. I do honestly think, like, if there's a primary target, I do think Drew Dalman is their target in free agency. I definitely do. At the center position, I also think that they could potentially look at if the price is right for DJ Jones at defensive tackle. And then I think the rest will be second, third tier free agents. And I guess the draft will do the rest.
I need some help, Tony. I'm sorry. I don't know what this means. I don't know what these words mean. I am so washed. I need someone to help me understand English. I don't know what these words mean. All right. So Brandon Aiyuk has a post that just hit the streets. I'm sorry. I know you were talking about how to build the team and all that. We'll get back to it. I promise you.
No, I'm good.
I just told you guys I didn't understand what Deebo was saying. And Deebo, I owe you an apology. I understand what you said a lot more than I understand this shit right here. Okay. Now, let me not act like I don't have any culture here. I'm going to do my best to interpret this. I'm going to read it phonetically, and then I'm going to come back and interpret what I can. If you ain't worth 100 or better, then beep in another city. I'm icy. I ain't got none tucked. Hashtag PS. Okay, I don't know what the hashtag is for. Do you know what is that like? Practice squad, player squad,
No clue, bro.
portobello sandwich. Okay, so I don't know what the hashtag is, but if you're not worth 100 or better, then bitch in another city, or move to another city, or go to another city. I'm icy. I don't have anything tucked. Now,
Someone just tweeted.
This-
Can someone translate this to a 36-year-old white guy? I'm no longer hip with the youth lingo.
But even with the translation, there's multiple translations. Like this could be him daring somebody to rob him, because I don't understand. Like when someone tells me I don't have anything tucked, that tells me I don't have a weapon on me. But I'm old, so I don't know, right? I ain't got nothing tucked. I don't have a weapon on me, but I'm icy in the city. Are you asking for negative attention? Like, are you asking for, like, no one's got the heart to run up on? What? My people in the chat, somebody out there, help me. They said, isn't it a rap lyric? I don't fucking know. I don't know. Somebody help me. Where did Dre go? Dre cussed me out all the time, but it never sounded like this. I know Dre was in this chat earlier. TL, Red Jet. Somebody tell me what this means. Because if you tell me I'm in the city and I'm icy and I ain't got nothing on me, like you're calling the city pussy, saying they won't do nothing to you. Or if you're not worth 100, see, I don't know the worth 100. Like if he didn't have the word worth in there, if you're not 100, like that means I'm good in the city. Like I'm 100% good out here. Like people love me, they respect me.
I think I'm just going to respond, no speaky.
Okay. All right, SD is giving his interpretation. Let's interpret the Aiyuk thing here. All right, it says, if you think I'm not worth 100 million or better, then that shit. Oh, is this a shot at the Niners? If you think I'm not worth 100 million or better, then that shit send me to another city. I'm fine with it, no problem. SD, how old are you? SD, how old are you? Because I'm giving you a round of applause. I don't know. But here's the thing. If you put Yeen, that means if you ain't. It's a rap lyric from Bigger Than Life or Death. SD is 27. Okay, he much closer to it than I am. Oh, thank God SD is in the building. Shout out to SD.
Mike, hold on.
Okay. All right. All right. So it's a lyric. Oh, STG. The STG. Okay. All right. I still don't know what the PS is, though. Help me out with that, SD. He said a shot at Deebo? I don't think it's a shot at Deebo.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Right. See, myself, that's how I took it. I don't have nothing tucked. Like I'm icy and I don't have nothing tucked. Like you can see my shit. And I'm good out here. Like I hear you, Tony. Like that's how I took it. But I don't know. He said the PS. I'm taking an L for the culture in front of everybody. All right. Tony, all right. Let's get back to fixing the 49ers, man. All right. So you think Brandon Aiyuk's got to come back. He's got to play well this year. That's it. I'm glad to hear that this was a lyric. I'm going to go back and listen to this song. Matter of fact, let me put this song in my iTunes right now. I'm going to put this song in my iTunes. I want y'all to know that Tony sent me that picture behind the scenes, right? And I text back to him, what the fuck does that even mean?
Dude, I have no
Oh
clue.
shit! I'm so dizzy. I just got lightheaded. I honestly did not know what that meant, and I wasn't trying to be funny at all. This guy said, "I'm white and British, by the way, Mike." Just to point that out. Hey, you got me, bro. You got me, man. You got me, bro. All right, but I still, man, I don't know. Elijah. Now Elijah says he knew the lyrics. Did you type the? You couldn't have typed that shit in. If you type that shit in, your autocorrect is fired. I know that you didn't type that in and get that. Let's see here. Hold on. Bigger than life or death. Here we go.
Whoop,
I'm
whoop.
not going to play it. I'm not going to play it, but I'm adding it to my shit, and I'm going to go back and listen to it later. All right, ESTG. I know the kind of music he makes, though. So, all right, back to it. Aiyuk's got to come back and play well this year. The Niners have to be production. And, Tony, you gave me your game plan, your plan of attack, with what you said and how you said it. And we have to keep in mind, someone in the chat said it, when we broke down John Lynch's presser on Patreon, we also discussed that Lynch kept emphasizing we need to get younger. He said that we've been doing things a certain way here, and it might be time for that to change. Those are John Lynch's words, right? And I don't really know what way they've been doing things that he feels need to change. I didn't really understand that, honestly. I think what the Niners has been doing has been good. I think they've rewarded their best players at the best positions. I think that they have also identified when one guy that we thought was a guy is no longer the guy and haven't been afraid to move on. And I think that in free agency, they go out and really try to get guys that they think can help the team win immediately. So I'm not sure what he meant by we need to change things. But again, that was why we had the whole cash versus cap conversation in the beginning. How does what your plan was, Tony, align with John Lynch's words of getting younger and less cash? How does that
The less cash is they got to stop like with the restructuring and taking on dead cap continuously and paying out up front on a restructure. That's what they're talking about. I don't think it's because it's cheap. I just think the way that they did it, they learned that it didn't work out and it wasn't the best way to do it, and now they're paying it on the back end.
Would you rather see higher salary cap hits up front and then deals get cheaper at the end? Because no player wants to stay at the end of deals when they're cheap. See, this is what I don't get, right? So if you take Brandon Aiyuk's deal and flip it upside down, right, Tony? Let's play this for the next 4 years, right? Let's just pretend that 2025 is 2028 and backwards. So if this year Brandon Aiyuk's base salary was $29 million, dead cap hit was $44, but the last 2 years his base salary was only $1.2 million, and his cap hits were only $16 and $11 million, right? Like for the team, at the end of his deal, that's great. We got Brandon Aiyuk basically for nothing on the last 2 years of his deal. For the player, it's like I got no securities. I don't want that. So how do you do it the right way then? Like I'm so confused with how they're supposed to do it. Or should it just even out like $30 million a year, $30 million a year, $30 million a year, $30 million a year?
I don't know the right way because I'm not a capologist. Obviously, I'm not in the front office. I'm in my rec room, but I just don't know. Like I don't understand the right way to do it, right? You can't pay him $41 million this year when you're trying to extend the quarterback. You have Trent Williams on a big number. You have Christian McCaffrey on a big number. What's his name's on a big number. Kittle, Warner's on a big number. All these, because what they do is they try to leap it. They try to set him up where every year there's a couple of big numbers and then it goes away. Like they can restructure it and move it, or they move on from the player. So obviously, to bring in more players, more good quality players, someone's got to make small money in the beginning, right? To try to get all these guys in to try to make a run. But then what happens is if you don't make a run in year 2 of that deal, you don't make a run in year 3 in that deal, you don't make a run in year 4, well, year 3, because year 4, that's when the shit starts as far as where the big salaries explode. With Trent, with Brandon Aiyuk, with anybody on the team, pending structure of the deal. So, like, their thing is, right, the Niners like to go signing bonus, low cost, big number, bot, and then opt out. So the third year, if there's a big number, they could say, all right, well, we'll lower that number and just push it down the road. Or before the option hits, they'll move on from the player. They'll cut him, trade him, whatever.
Because year 3 is when the potential out is, right? Year 3 is $76 million. I guess that's total amount, but the dead cap is only 9.2.
Yeah, so there it is. So everything's the $76 million, including bonus salaries, are paid up to that point. And then bang, they're out for only $9 million, which avoids the 40-something million dollar number. So, you know, they want the ability to control their out, but on the other hand, the control their out could bite them in the ass. Because once you start restructuring, that opt-out goes away. Because you're pushing the money down and then you're technically renegotiating the back end of the deal. Now, they could put the void years on, but, I mean, every contract the Niners have right now, if it's not a one-year deal, has a void year. I know the cap's going to continue to go up. I'm well aware of that, but the issue is, okay, like, honestly, I think right now you're starting to see all their pushbacks, void years, all that is starting to catch up to them. That's why they had to take the $30+ million this year with Deebo to not have that next year. And if they get offered a deal, they could potentially move on from Aiyuk and not have like, they're trying to open up their future is what they're doing. They're trying to take the load off the books, eating it now. But then on the other hand, I'm saying to myself, I said, well, wait a second. They have an opportunity to play a Super Bowl in their stadium this year. So I don't
Come on, that's the focus right there. Like, how do we do this and win now? That's what I want to know.
I mean,
I say fuck the money, go balls to the wall this year.
Yeah, but if you go balls to the wall this year and you don't do it, you're hurt for the next 2 years.
Yep.
I mean,
how many more years? How many more years do you think you got Kittle here in peak condition? How many more years do you think you got Christian McCaffrey here in peak condition? How many more years do you think you got Fred Warner here in peak condition?
I think Fred, you can get a solid 3 more years out of Fred.
Okay.
I think you can get a solid 3 years out of Fred. I think you could probably get a solid maybe 2 more, maybe 2 definitely next year +1, and maybe a third one out of Kittle. McCaffrey, I think his deal is year to year after this year on how they structured it. Trent's the wild card. I think if Trent goes, that's where the freedom comes. Okay. And I'm still sitting here saying I don't even think there's 100% guarantee he is coming back this year. As much as they say great, you go. But
you said something during the John Lynch presser where you wanted us to go back and find what John Lynch said about Joe Staley. John Lynch said, Trent's great. He's coming back. He's ready to play, right? He said all the right things. Trent will be back. He's ready to play. He's motivated. When you got a guy like that, he knows he's not needed to do X, Y, and Z. He said all the right things about Trent. And you said, I want to know what he said about Staley. Did your spider senses start tingling?
I think it was kind of similar. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah. Yeah. It very much was, right? So now it's like, okay, is it possible? We're sitting at 11.
Look what Justin just said. He said the same thing, the same shit they said about Staley.
Right. So is it possible that at 11, the Niners are taking a tackle?
If they take a tackle at 11, specifically a left tackle, that means Trent's gone.
What
if they hold on, I'm going to say this. If they draft a left tackle and they bring back Jalen Moore on a 2-year deal, Trent's gone.
And if Trent leaves, do we get any money for it? That's the question.
See, but it's all on how it's worded and structured. Cut, release are 2 different things in retirement.
His dead cap numbers ain't shit, bro. Oh man. Well, this year it says 39 million, so he might not be going anywhere this year. But next year it's 13. The year after that it's 9. The year after that it's 4. So,
but that's if they cut him, though, right? I mean, I don't know how it would work.
Oh wait. Oh, I'm looking at some. Wait, what happened here? It didn't take me to Trent Williams. I just scrolled up and it says Brandon Aiyuk. All right, let me look at this again. Here we go. Okay. Oh shit. Nah, never mind. Nope. Dead cap 35.7. Oh, this year dead cap 56.8. God. All right, Trent for president. Let's go. He got to come back and play well.
You see how they structure these deals?
Holy
like,
shit.
If you're that unsure if Trent Williams is year to year, right? If he's truly year to year, why would you put that type of deal together?
Bro, his dead cap last year was $77.8 million, bro. Almost $78 million was his dead cap last year. This year, it's 56. Whew. All right. Well, I digress. I don't know. Listen, man, this has been a lot of fun. Tony, do you have any final thoughts for us before we get out of here? Because I got to get ready to do the 4 o'clock show with Wayne. We're going to do the no harm, no foul. Y'all make sure y'all come right back here at 4 o'clock. Well, Tony, man, I'm going to give you the floor for any final thoughts. We got a lot of other things to touch on. If you want to, we can do the breakdown again of the Lynch thing. We can do it live on the air for people to see. We can't do it right now, obviously. But we can go back and do that again. We can break down some other things. But it's up to you. But your final thoughts, man.
I mean, I think I spoke a lot today. It's that time of year. Rumors are like, you know what? So everyone's got one. So just keep your eyes open, your ears puckered, and it's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot of talk. There's going to be a lot of rumors. There's already rumors flying about stuff with Devontae Adams and stuff like that. So,
Would you take a flyer on him?
It all depends on certain things.
I tell you what, whether or not Aiyuk is traded, would you try to get Devontae Adams here? Regardless of if Aiyuk is traded.
I would. But it's got to be your right number.
Interesting.
Can't be massive. Because listen, as shitty as last year was for him, he still finished with 85 catches, just over 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns. Right? If you're asking him to come in to be the number one option, what did you do? Thanks, Sam.
He probably wouldn't be that here.
If you ask him to come in to be the number one option, he's not the guy. If you're asking him to come in as a veteran presence, to come in to be the number 2, potentially 3 option in his offense, it could be a smart move because he still gets open. He's still a very savvy veteran, and it wouldn't hurt. But it's got to be the right number. Again, if you're expecting him to be coming in number 1, no, he's not that right now.
Okay. All right. That's it. Anything else before we get out of here?
That's it.
All right, guys. That's going to do it for us, man. We appreciate you all. Hopefully you guys were entertained by the show. And the last 2 shows I've done with Tony, man, right at the end, there's always an almost accident or something happening. So I'm glad everything is all right over there this time. Y'all should have seen the way the John Lynch presser video. I thought him and his wife were going to get in a car accident. I was so scared for them, man. Oh, all right. But anyway, we're getting out of here, man. I love and appreciate you guys. We will be back in less than 25 minutes. So make sure you guys are joining us back here, okay? Prepare for glory.
Anticipate pain.
But always
remain faithful.
See y'all soon. Peace.
We all gas, no brakes, pumped up, no fakes. We spinning, we winning, we high stakes. We never miss, we all makes. Look at us dudes trying to prove, bringing you news with nothing to lose. Mike, Nick, Tony, Wayne, Method Man, we bring the pain. Hey, see, I'ma confess it. We under the pressure. If you looking to find us, we them nothing but Niners. We nothing but Niners. We nothing